together on SECKLOWSounds.org.
Your listening station.
Today on the show is a special. It's a Panto special. It's featuring Robin Hood and the Babes in the Wood, the Panto at the Grove Theatre this year. I'm having two of the cast members on. Firstly, I have Anna Cumbley. Morning, Anna. How are we doing?
Good morning, Terry. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm not too bad. I met you last year, actually. You were one of the judges last year and again this year of a thing they do at Dunstable called the Panto Factor.
That's right, yes.
I mean, it's quite...
Where is this going, Terry? This sounds scary.
No, it's all right. That's okay. It's quite an unusual concept. I quite like the idea.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant to find local talent and to have an opportunity for anyone and everyone to have a go at appearing in a big theatre that's local to you. I think it's a great idea, and Panto's so unique. It is fun, and it's over Christmas time, and yeah, why not? Have a chance, have a go, have a crack at it.
Yeah, I mean, I was there, and there was this year. I remember there was 8 people, and all 8 of them I thought were very talented and very good, and probably deserved. Not deserved to win, but they're all would have been great in the Panto.
Yeah, they would have been fine. But the thing is, there's only like one job going. Or
and it was 2 jobs, wasn't it, this year?
Yeah, 2 jobs was this show, because we were casting 2 shows. Robin Hood, we were doing obviously Maid Marian and Robin Hood.
That's right.
Parts. So
and it was won by.
And it could have been open. Obviously, Maid Marian, we needed a woman, but Robin Hood could be male or female, so it did open it up to everyone and everyone.
And it was won by 2 ladies, Eleanor Saunders and Holly Ann Hull.
Holly Ann, yes. No, I'm so pleased.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it was a bit of arguing, toing and froing in the decision, but because it's so hard, you can't please everyone, can you? You've got judges there, you've got the producer, we all have to agree on, 2 people.
Yeah,
and,
it was.
For whatever reasons, people think so and so will be great, but it literally still is. You're thinking that they're going to be good. If you've gone through all this palaver of auditioning, doing a little bit of acting and a little bit of this. But so we know they can perform, but what are they going to be like behind the scenes? That's what I want to know. Are they going to make me a cup of tea?
I must admit, I had Holly down as the winner, and also
I'm great at making cups of tea. Cup of tea is like top on the list.
So you're open to bribes, are you?
I'm very open to bribes.
Well,
not ashamed to say it.
I must admit, I was there at the night, and I had Holly down as the winner, and I also had one of the guys down. I thought one of the guys was very good, but he was a little too old. I thought that's the only downside of him.
One, the Scottish one.
I can't think of his name. I've slept since then. It was
Andrew, was it?
I can't remember.
Oh, I think I know which one you mean.
Yeah, and I thought I had him down, and ironically, I sat.
He looked perfect.
He looked, didn't he?
Looked like his daughter.
That's the worrying. That's the thing that worried me.
It was casting. It was totally casting. They both could have done it beautifully, but it's just they wouldn't have looked right
together. No, it'd have looked.
And also, as you're saying, he looked old. That's exactly what the audience would say. Oh, doesn't he look old? And he's not old. He's not old at all. I think he's like 27 or something. But she looks so young. She would look like a teenager next to him, and it just wouldn't sort of sit right or comfortable.
Well, I went to a panto a couple of years ago, and it was Letitia Dean's brother, and he's quite an age, and he was playing like the prince, and the girl who was playing, I think it was Cinderella. She looked about 12, and it didn't look. It didn't. I was thinking, I was worried for him actually, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
no, it is. It's uncomfortable. You want to feel happy in the audience, not cringing at anything, feeling comfortable in the performance, not going, oh, she looks too young, or she looks too old, or they don't look right. But that's the importance of casting right. It's quite tricky. And there's loads of people that can do it, but literally it's on the look, and it's just as rubbish as that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a great cast coming to Dunstable. We've got Andy on later. Yeah. We've got Andy Abrahams. He's a lot of people remember him from the X. He has got a tremendous voice. I've seen him. He did a show a couple of years ago called a swing show where he did music and a big band.
With it, didn't he?
He was sensational. I saw him and I was blown away by it.
He's a talent, isn't he, Terry? And he's so natural. And he's such a lovely guy. He's just got a voice that you close your eyes and you can just. It's just enjoyable. And do you know what? In his dressing room, he plays to warm up his voice. He plays song. Ask him about it, actually.
I will ask him about that.
Yeah, and he always plays the same song. I'll let him say it, but I'm usually in the... last year I was in the dressing room next to him, and I'd just turn off my radio or whatever, not radio, whatever I was listening to, and I'd just listen. It's just so lovely.
I'll ask him about it, and in about 25 minutes' time I'll ask him about it. You've also got a gentleman called Carl Kennedy from Neighbours. I must admit, I'm not a Neighbours watcher, but I've been told Alan Fletcher, who's playing the Sheriff in Ottama, he's amazing in panto. I've been told that.
He's so good, Terry, and he's such a game player, as in, like, he's a cast member, he works hard, he plays hard, he goes out with the cast, he's really, really good. He brings his family over. He's just such a lovely, lovely bloke. And it's so funny, because lots of my friends grew up watching him, when we were kids. He was like a pin-up in our eyes, Carl Kennedy. It was like, And so they were all jealous. I forget, honestly, every Christmas, last year I worked with him. I had to get him to do loads of pieces to camera so I could send it to them and get him to sign CDs and this, that and the other. I was very popular last Christmas.
That's great. Well, actually, I need to wish you luck, actually, because the final member is Mr. Steve Howlett. Silly Billy Scholar. I've had the pleasure. He's been on the show, and shall we say it was an interesting... He's as mad as a badger, and I interviewed him, but I wasn't sure if I was interviewing the dummy, and I'm not sure. The three of us were there. The three of us were there in the dressing room, and I'm not sure which one of them was the biggest dummy.
Who was the Muppet?
Yeah, I think it was probably me, actually. Anyway, let's talk about yourself now. How did you sort of get into the acting and the acting bug? And the singing as well, didn't you? You had a...
I've done all sorts of things, but basically I started off going to like a normal dancing school, just loved it, doing all my dancing bits and pieces, and then I wanted to go to drama school, which I did when I was 16, and then from that I did lots of West End musicals, like Starlight Express and Elvis the Musical and various big shows, and then from that I became a pop star called Lolly.
I do, I remember it well. You had quite a few hits, didn't you?
That was really good fun. And then from that, I went on to be a TV presenter for the BBC for years, doing kids TV. And then from that, I've sort of progressed into management. So I'm artist managing up-and-coming artists. And so, I've done all sorts of stuff. And casting them, and I'm directing, associate director on this panto as well.
Oh, you really? So you're going to be have your hands full. So you say you're looking after artists now. Have you got anybody up and coming who we should look out for?
Yeah, I'm looking after a fantastic girl called Rosie O'Sullivan. She was on Britain's Got Talent last year, and she's a phenomenal singer. And we're just completing her album at the moment. We're going for launch next year, so she's definitely one to look out for.
Okay.
If you like sort of Motown soul,
I love Rosie. Yeah.
Sort of a retro throwback. She's got a massive voice, and she's just a lovely, down-to-earth girl.
Yeah, I always never cease to amaze me. I see some of these at the pop idol. The panto idol. There was one of the girls. In fact, I think it was Holly, and she's only very slight. And
she's tiny.
There's a huge voice.
Little thing.
Came out of this little unit. I'm a big unit. And you really don't want to hear me...
Terry, I'm sure.
You really don't want to hear me sing. I tell you, it is... If ever you need the theatre clearing, get me up on stage. I'll clear the theatre for you. I mean, you sort of scratched over your pop career. You had quite a good career. You had what, 5 top 20 hits? 2 gold-selling albums and a Brit Award nominee. Yeah, I did really well.
So
it's pretty sharp.
Because it's like... not far removed, but I think it was just, part of my life, and, you just sort of...
Move on.
It was part of the roller coaster, shall I say. Yeah, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It was great time of my life.
I mean, people don't know you had Viva La Radio, you had Mickey.
Viva La Radio, Hey Mickey.
Big Boys Don't Cry.
I did a cover of Rockin' Robin. I did Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I did Per Sempre Amore.
That's the 5 I've got written down, so I'm glad that I was right for once.
Yes, you are right.
Not always right. I mean, you look these things up, and I got caught out a couple of weeks ago on something, and it wasn't correct. Yeah, I mean, you played Priscilla Presley in the musical Elvis. You scratched on that as well.
Yeah, I did when I was 18 years old.
Yeah, you were very...
in the West End, yeah.
So who were you...
That was crazy, up to Bill Kenwright.
Yeah, was that with PJ Proby?
It was with PJ Proby. PJ Proby was old Elvis, because they had three Elvises.
That's right.
There was the young, middle, and, in the Vegas Elvis that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And PJ Proby played the old Elvis, which sounds really horrendous saying old Elvis, but that's what it was. And then, I can't remember. It's so long ago now, but it was brilliant. It was really good fun. And the fact is, when I got it, I didn't really know Elvis music. I was brought up, my mum listened to the Beatles, so I didn't know any Elvis.
Oh, no.
Well, I had to learn probably about, I think it was like 98 backing vocals to all the Elvis songs in about a week. And you just had to do all the oohs and the ahs and the ums.
Yeah.
It was a crash course in our work.
Well, it's funny. I had PJ on about 6 weeks ago. He was on the radio with me. He was
PJ Proby?
Yeah, he was fabulous, and he speaks.
Really?
Yeah, he did. I must admit, he didn't mention you, but he did mention the Elvis, and he loved doing that. And it's really,
Well, I think he did it quite a few times.
He did. He did it once before. I think back in the late 70s, when just after Elvis died, they did it quickly, and then I think they redid it again with where Kenwright got hold of Bill Kenwright got hold of it. Yeah.
Yes, because we had the Elvis estate come over. I mean, it was all quite big news, and I remember. I mean, it's such a blur, but I remember having loads of meetings. Obviously, not just me, but the cast with the Elvis estate and with some really prominent man that I can't remember at all his name, but he was part of the 6-5 special, and he was the one that brought a lot of these massive acts back in the day over, and I remember sitting with him chatting, and I must have been like a stupid, naive 18-year-old.
Yeah.
I had no idea who I was chatting to, but he was lovely. I can't remember his name now.
I'm 52, and I'm like that nowadays, never mind.
Honestly, I think that's how I go through life, just chatting away to whoever it is, and then they go, oh, do you know who that was? I'm like, no.
The worst thing happens to me is people stop me in the street, and they obviously know me, and I have no idea.
Of course, and your voice.
I have no idea who it is, and it's awful.
I bet you get it on the phone, though, as well, don't you?
What's that? Who? Yeah.
Or leaving random messages to people.
Yeah, I do. I mean, also I get people ring me, and they say, oh, hello, this is George, and I'm thinking, George who?
Yeah, how many Georges do I
I know. I'll tell you what, one thing I noticed in your resume as such is in 2003 you did the backing vocals for the Fast Food Rockers album.
Fast Food Rockers album, did I?
According to what I've seen, it's never easy being cheesy, which...
Fast Food Rockers? No, I didn't.
You didn't? See, that's what I mean, you have to really watch it. So, you're should we say, a vet?
Resume, have you got... No, I don't think I've done... No, I've done many things, I can't remember doing that.
Oh, well, we'll forget about that then. You're really a veteran of pantos. You did your first one 12 years ago.
Oh, probably. Well, actually, it was funny. I was chatting. I just did some press earlier on. They were saying, "How many have you done?" I went, "You know what? I have no idea. I've got to sit down and write down how many I've done." But I remember doing my first. I remember seeing my first, and not being in it. And it was with Lionel Blair. I was about 5 years old, and all I just remember was a vision of silver and white ponies. So it must have been Cinderella. And I remember clinging for dear life onto the chair when they asked the children to go up on stage, leave my head down, go, no. And then I got to work with him many years later in Snow White. He was Muddles and I was Snow White, and that was very surreal, because I was like, I remember seeing you as a child up on stage.
He's a lovely man. During the summer I had him on the show as well. He really is a lovely guy.
Great. Brilliant.
And one of the craziest
things... more energy than in my little finger that man has.
I know, but I tell you what I asked him is what he does off the stage and what he does. You know, when he relaxes, he said he sits in front of the TV all day and watches anything that's on, which I thought was.
Do you know what? I think that's a lie. He's literally just grabs you and starts tap dancing. Come on, darling, tap dance with me.
Oh, it's fun. So, I mean, this year the Pantos, Robin Hood and Babes in the Wood, I must admit, it's one I've not seen.
Ooh.
Over the years, I've seen...
exciting.
I think I've seen all of them over the years, but this is one I've not...
It's really, really good. I mean, I don't think I'd seen one before actually doing it, so it was quite nice, because it's quite traditional, and there's lots of characters in it. It's a bit like a Hansel and Gretel style story, wrapped up with Robin Hood and, you know, the odd fry tuck thrown in here, and Nurse Nellie random. The Dane character. Oh, you'll have to work. I can't let you in. It's just, but I know I'm going to be flying, which is quite exciting. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be flying, because you're
flying fairy.
I forgot to mention you're playing the Fairy of the Forest. We've got.